morning, y'all. It is 11 December, 6:24 a.m. Monday, everybody's favorite day of the week. I'm doing 70 miles an hour northbound on a road headed to work, and I was just thinking about stuff, life. You know, we have a MAG, a mutual assistance group, and it's a admittedly loose affiliation of like-minded people. There are people that are more prepared than we are, and there are people that are less prepared than we are, and I'd say we are probably squarely in the middle, preparedness-wise. But everybody has at least a cursory interest in surviving Armageddon, you know, of being prepared for whatever may happen. So we have our MAG, and I love the people in our MAG, and the MAG is great. But I am concerned about population density. We are in the suburbs north of Dallas, and our little town is not so little anymore. When we moved here, going on 7 years ago, there were about 7,000 people in our town. There's, at best guess right now, 17 or 18,000 people in our town right now. And they expect, you know, being the big they, the city council and all the other schmuckety schmucks, expect that by 2020 we'll have 30,000 people, and by 2030, full build out, 130,000 people. Now, if I wanted to live with 130,000 people, I would already live with 130,000 other people. My interest level in that is below zero. I am vehemently opposed to having 130,000 neighbors. That is not for me. So we've been looking at land. Now, we're in North Texas. So, unless you come from a rather wealthy family, or have done very well for yourself in your short time on Earth thus far, or hit the Powerball, or some other avenue towards a large amount of money, you're not buying land, acreage in North Texas. Or the acreage you buy will be 1.1 acres or 3.4 acres. It's not a large amount of land. Certainly not a large enough piece of land to, say, fire a rifle on and not have to worry about whether or not you unintentionally put rounds on one of your neighbors. Which, by the way, is my benchmark for enough land. If you can shoot a rifle on your own land and you don't need to worry about whether or not you're hitting something else on somebody else's property, you have enough land. You could always have more, but that's enough. So to that tune, we've been looking for land. We're in North Texas. We have looked in Oklahoma. We have looked in Arkansas. And frankly, Arkansas just speaks to us. Now, I follow Pastor Joe Fox at Viking Preparedness, and I have for, I'm gonna say, 18 months to 2 years. Originally at YouTube and now at Patreon. And Pastor Joe has this supposition, a feeling, he feels it in his gut, which means it's probably true, that Father God is gathering people in the Ozarks. Now, I just want to tell you this, and you'll have to take my word on it, but before I ever knew who Joe Fox was, or Viking Preparedness, or any of this other stuff, we took a family vacation to the Ozarks, and we did not want to leave. And I don't mean like, oh, Sunday morning, time to pack up the stuff and get back in the car and go back to the grind. No, a deep, visceral connection. We did not want to leave. No matter where we look for land, we keep ending up back in that region as if we are being guided there. And Lord willing, we will be making an offer on a piece of land in that region today. And Lord willing, it will be accepted. And I'm hesitant to do that on the one hand because of all the good people that we have here in North Texas, because of our safety net here. And I feel responsible for these people here as well, for their level of preparedness, their level of education. You know, I mean, obviously they need to take it upon themselves to be prepared, to continue to learn, yada, yada, yada. But I'm a part of that. And I don't want to just leave people hanging. On the other hand, while I am fortunate enough to have really good people in my MAG is Mutual Assistance Group. And I have really good neighbors. And I do believe that the people in my town thus far are people, generally speaking, of a high level of integrity. They are good people. Population density is a problem. You know, there's this prepper, I call it mental masturbation, right? Put on your plate carrier, grab your rifle, and just feel cool. And I don't blame you for that. But trained soldiers, go talk to a combat arms veteran. Okay, ask him. I wouldn't ask him this off the bat, or her off the bat, but get to know them. And when you have a rapport, ask them politely and honestly, how many of your friends have you had to bury? How many of your friends have you had to bury with the training, the support, the knowledge and skill and leadership and direction that you as a professional warfighter had? How many of your friends have you had to bury? And I want you to meditate on that number, whatever that number is. And then think about you and your friends. If you had to fight a war or engage in combat for whatever reason, could you be at least as effective as an 11-man squad? My guess is probably not. Now, I'm not discounting all the 3%ers out there, the militiamen, the sheepdogs. I'm not discounting you. I'm not discounting us one bit. But the point remains, we're not the military, okay? There are those of us that have training, and there are those of us that do not. But even if you sent a platoon of Marines into, we'll just pick a town. You live in Plano, Texas, okay? And things get bad. It hits the fan. Send a platoon of Marines into Plano and let them fend for themselves. I give it a coin toss because of the population density. There are just too many people. A 10-year-old boy with a .22 rifle can end your life if he puts rounds on you before you put rounds on him. Think about that. Are you mentally and emotionally prepared to have to engage in that type of combat? Do you want to be? I don't really want to go there. But by being out in the middle of nowhere, literally and figuratively, with a much lower population density, it solves a lot of those problems. Now, the trade-off is I will have to be responsible, we will have to be responsible for a larger portion of our daily existence. And that's okay. I grew up on land, and I very much so enjoy, if I need to urinate and there's a good looking tree over there, I can do it without offending anybody or going to jail for indecent exposure. I mean, I think it's decent, but hey, whatever. There's a trade-off there, and I'm okay with it. So that's just our sit rep for this morning. But yeah, we're putting in an offer on land this morning, and God willing, it'll be approved. And I hope to, in the coming days and weeks, to be able to show you guys what that land looks like, what this transition is going to be. I feel it coming. So, prepare accordingly. Y'all have a great day.